Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic, we are going to be going over the Warlock reviews that were released today. Sadly, due to all of the stuff that's going on around the reveals and all the controversy, I will have to split this video into two videos. The first one being a quick overview of Warlock in general, and then the next one will be about a week from now when all the reveals are done, so I can actually make the actual in-depth video on the class, which make sure to subscribe for and like the video for. Now, as well, another thing I'd like to announce is due to all of this garbage that's going on, I have decided to make the monetization for this video go towards a charity of whatever choice I end up doing after I upload this video. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. And that is because I don't do this to make money. I don't need to spread out one reveal across 7 different videos and try to squeeze out every little ounce of currency I possibly can out of this job. I cover Last Epoch for the passion, and I really enjoy it. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a little bit of a charity stint for this video and for the full Warlock video as well. So all the money that is garnered from the video will be given to charity. Now, it won't really be that much, to be honest, but we're still going to do it anyways to show that, you know, we're not really here to make money. We're here to actually show off the game and have some fun with the game. So let's talk about the skills, shall we? So the first skill that I want to talk about is, of course, Chaos Bolt. This is a new skill for Warlock. Essentially, it's necrotic and fire damage at the same time. It seems to shoot out a bunch of projectiles that go into a certain area where you cast it, and it can also shotgun. So you can like increase the area of effect to make the projectile shotgun more, and it looks to be a very strong skill. As not only does it have a very low mana cost, it seems, it also seems like as though it hits multiple times on a singular target, and it's going to be very good for crit and for ailment stacking. I'm hoping that there's a lot of utility in this tree as well. We'll have to see, but Chaos Bolts definitely looks like a winner in terms of skill, like mechanics and stuff like that. I'm really happy with this one specifically. But sadly, we don't have much other information about this until next week, so let's move on. All right, so the next skill that we're going to be talking about is Profane Veil. It seems like as though this skill specifically, it kind of works like the skill in Diablo 4, the blood one that Necromancer has access to, where you become either untargetable or you can't take damage for a period of time, and you can also deal damage over time. There's also, it seems like as though, a bunch of little orbs that are shooting out. I'm not entirely sure if that's enabled in the skill tree or not. We'll have to see later this week when we get all the actual info. Now, this does look to be very strong. We'll see if you can increase the duration or not. Hopefully, there's a lot of ways to abuse this skill because it looks a lot of fun. All right, I'm putting this in post-editing, but I forgot that Soul Feast is actually getting a rework, or at least the visuals are getting a rework. We'll see if the actual skill is getting a rework, but Soul Feast is kind of mid. It can deal a lot of damage, and it's really fun. You can stack a lot of armor with it, and it's pretty broken when you do that. But the mana cost on it can be absurd at times, so we'll see if Soul Feast actually ends up being good, if they end up changing it, if it works really well with the curse synergy on Warlock, or whatever ends up happening. But I can definitely tell you, the new animations on Soul Feast look fucking sick, so that's good at least, right? Alright, so the next skill we're going to be talking about is, of course, Konic Fissure. Konic Fissure seems to be a damage over time spell that you can place on the ground that creates a fissure that casts damage over time on enemies, and it also shoots out a bunch of bolts while it is active. It seems like a bunch of necrotic bolts. This looks really good because it's reminiscent to the old cooldown casters in Grim Dawn, where you stack a bunch of very high powerful cooldown abilities on under a target and kind of try to deal damage through multiple skills. And this can be combined with a lot of other damage over time skills that Acolyte has access to, and hopefully, in theory, that will make this a very strong skill, not only for clear, but for actually adding additional single target. All right, the next one is Ghost Flame. Ghost Flame looks pretty sick. It has a pretty decent AoE. It seems like as though it deals a decent amount of damage. It does spell, necrotic / fire damage over time. It seems like as though like the AoE is humongous for what it is, and it's a channeling skill, so we'll see. But I like channeling skills. I think those, though, they need to be buffed significantly so that they can actually be usable in endgame, as standing still really sucks, but definitely Ghost Flame looks like to be a skill that can hold up to par in the endgame and Last Epoch, and it definitely shows in the footage here that we have. All right, so we're going to be talking about the curses. Curses is going to be one of the main mechanics in the passive tree for Warlock, and let's talk about them. The first curse is Anguish. Anguish reduces damage over time dealt by enemies and also deals necrotic damage to all enemies afflicted with it whenever you kill an enemy. So you apply a bunch of curses in an area and then kill enemies and it will proliferate through the pack, at least it seems like to be the case. This is kind of cool. We'll see if the damage actually scales, right? We didn't get any damage numbers with it. We'll see if it actually functions. The next curse, Penance. Penance is a curse that lasts 15 seconds, which causes affected targets to take 20 spell fire damage when they hit another target, but it does not stack. This is really cool, as it seems like as though it will actually scale with your flat damage, and it will make it so that when enemies hit your minions or yourself, it will make them take damage. Now, of course, the damage doesn't seem like as though it'll scale into endgame properly for a single target, but if this can make it so you can kill trash in the monolith, this might be really good for just in general. You can play like minions on Warlock, and of course use Penance to clear with your own damage, and then use something like Hungering Souls for single target, right? It does seem like as though Penance might actually scale into endgame very well. We will see if that's the case or not. Decrepify. It is a curse that deals 200 physical damage over 10 seconds, which with added damage effectiveness of 100%, and causes the target to take more damage from damage over time based on the caster's missing health. That's all you really needed to say to make low life Warlock a thing. If this deals any decent amount of more damage to enemies, everyone's going to be low life on Warlock, which is a little sad, but we'll see how it wraps up. Maybe it only gives like 30% more damage if you're at full negative missing life. We'll see. Decrepify looks very, 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 very strong. Next one is Acid Skin. It's a curse which deals 80 poison damage over 5 seconds with added damage effectiveness of 80% per second, and makes it so that enemies have a chance to be critically hit. It's like critical vulnerability stacks, but it's a 20% flat value. This will be really good for like playing a dot build and you need to like apply something on crit or something if that ever becomes a problem, or it'll help you go from 80% crit to 100% crit, which means you need to invest significantly less, especially on single target, which is great. I'm definitely going to be interested in utilizing this if I play like a crit Warlock setup. Now, of course, the last curse here is Torment. Torment is a curse which deals 120 spell necrotic damage over 3 seconds with added damage effectiveness of 200% per second, and reduces movement speed by 12%, multiplicative with other modifiers, but it does not stack. This is by far one of the weaker ones, but it's probably because it's like associated with some buffs or something like that. We'll definitely have to see how well Torment scales. But overall, the curses look really good. I really like the diversity of effects that these have, and each one seems to be usable for the most part. Torment looks a little meh, and Anguish looks a little meh, but to be honest, it's completely fine because you'll probably end up just stacking a bunch of curses to do damage on the enemy anyways. Now, that's going to be it for the video today. Sadly, I can't go in more depth in any of these because, you know, the reveal was just absolutely atrocious. Sadly, you know, we'll have to wait a week, but I'll be there in a week. So make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. With all that being said, this has been Dread. Off to go wait a week, I guess. Bye.